Hey now. Hello, y'all. Happy Friday, Fire Fam. Welcome to the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. And we know that something gooder, I said it, gooder, is going to arise from the flames. There is no choice, right? We have no options but better, because worse is unacceptable at this point. Guys, I'm so happy and excited to see y'all's very specific smiling faces up in the place. What's going on to the whole gang up in here? I see Courtney the SLP is up in here. What's up, Vespa X? What's going on, Natalie? Afraid Not is in the building. Craig Bardo's in the building. Dawn Gibson's in the building. Toby's Foby's in the building. Taja's in the building. Everybody's in the building. What's up, James Thompson? We got some new youngins in here. Whoa, okay, my same youngins up in here. What's up, Lateef? Anna Hart, why are you in bed? Why are you in bed listening to us, baby? I hope you feel okay. Hope you feel better. Guys, I'm so very excited. Chuck Diesel, of course. What's up, Chuck Diesel? Rain the Sud, Queen of the South is in this bitch. Y'all better put some respect on her name. What's up, Lady 747? Hey, I'm so happy that you guys are here joining us today. We have a great Friday program for you in store. So I don't even know where to begin because there's a lot to talk about. Later on in the program, guys, I want us to get into some labor issues. Okay, we've got work issues across the board, right? From workers on strike from Nabisco. And we are standing in solidarity with our Nabisco brothers and sisters, guys. I bet not see no Oreos on no grocery lists, okay? I bet not see no Sour Patch Kids on your grocery list. It is fuck Nabisco until they do right by their workers. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about the Spelman professors down in Atlanta who are withholding their labor. I don't know if they've gone as far as to call it a strike, but they are withholding their labor because they are not comfortable with in-person learning as COVID surges in Atlanta. Understandable, right? Spelman College itself thinks differently. So we're going to talk about that. Also, I would be really remiss if we didn't discuss what's happening with the sex performers, sex workers on the OnlyFans platform. Now, I know we have a bunch of anointed saints as our viewers, and y'all may be a little bit too pristine to know what OnlyFans is. But if you are a heathen like myself, okay, and now I am not an OnlyFans subscriber, but I know what OnlyFans is. I'm not going to act like I don't. And actually, if you have ever supported a performer on OnlyFans, I fucks with you, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you should pay for your porn, okay? There's nothing wrong with paying for porn. And OnlyFans has capitalized literally off of the labor of these sex workers, and now they are telling them to get the fuck out, which is fucked up. But also they are denying them truly a safe space for them to be compensated for their labor. And I want us to get into that and all the misogyny that I'm seeing on social media behind the OnlyFans performers. Is a lot of this scorn is targeted towards women performers. Talking about, oh, now you bitches got to get a real job. Sir, if you've never handled a penis, you have no idea what real work is, okay? So we're going to get into that in a little bit. Also, this weekend in Washington, D.C., guys, it is going to be Chuck Brown Day. Now, I know not everybody here is with us, is in the D.C. area, but the latest census numbers are out, and it shows that D.C., which has historically been majority Black, is now getting less and less Black, right? And I really felt as though Chuck Brown's passing in 2012 was very symbolic of old DC dying and new white chocolate DC rising. So I want us to take a moment to remember the godfather of soul, the godfather of go-go. But Chuck had soul too. Chuck was everything to the DC area. So we're going to put some respect on Chuck Brown's name. We're going to put some respect on go-go music's name. This Black people created music and culture here in your nation's capital. But first and foremost, guys, I want us to lead off. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Hey, we grown in here, y'all. This content is not for kids under the age of 13, okay? Like, I'm going to talk to y'all like grown folks. Now, I'm not going to get vulgar per se, but we can say penis on this program, can we not? We can say penis with no problems, right? Okay, just checking. But guys, the first place I want us to go I know you've heard me mention it a couple times, maybe in some shows past. And honestly, I have not followed through in the way that I have supposed to have been followed through. But I wanted to do this segment called Cops Ain't Shit, right? Because truly, from a content perspective, it is low-hanging fruit, right? It is not difficult to find instances of police being abusive, outright criminal, outright murderous, outright going against all the things that they purport to represent, right? You know, protect and serve, all that bullshit, right? We know that's some bullshit. But I'm gonna do this periodically and examine police departments from different places across the country. And even if it's just a cursory examination, like truly like a very surface level examination, because honestly, if we were, say, to do an episode on the NYPD or the Chicago PD or the Dallas Police Department, nigga, we would be here for hours, right? Most major police departments, major and minor for that matter, have had some sort of actions, even from the federal level, if it's Department of Justice, issuing a consent decree, or, you know, officers outright charged in crimes, or even officers who have not been charged in crimes in things that is very obvious that they are guilty of either harassment, sexual assault, or flat out murder or abuse, right? So today's Cops Ain't Shit, I'm going to start a little bit closer to home. I'm going to start right here where I am, in Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, if you watch the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media, we were discussing PG County just this week. I think it was Kamal Franklin who asked about Prince George's County. What kind of place is PG County? Because PG County, Maryland is touted as this Black utopia, or I guess PG County residents, Black PG County residents have a very high, I won't say very high, let's say a higher median income than Black people in other places, right? And I got into that on a very surface level also. That's because a lot of people in PG County have them good government jobs, right? They got them good government jobs, working for the federal government. They a smooth GS-12, right? And they pulling in $85K, and they got them a house in Upper Marlboro that they have a mortgage on, right? Jared Ball was very accurate with that. Like, home ownership is a odd sort of categorization, because no, a lot of people do not own their homes. A lot of people are leasing their homes, basically, like myself. You know, I pay a mortgage. This shit don't belong to me. This Bank of America house, goddamn it. But anyway, PG County police have a very bad reputation. Even though PG County is a place where Black people do well, or I should say do better than Black people perhaps in other places of the other areas of the country, this is a very over-policed community. Without a doubt. The police budget here is large. The police officers here and the police department here have been placed under federal consent decree, I believe, at least 2 times. And even recently, PG County Police in Prince George's County, Maryland, settled a lawsuit brought by Black and brown officers, right? These Black and brown officers said, wah, we don't get promotions like the white officers. Wah, we're subject to all this racism. Wah, mind you. And then they go out in their Black community and whip ass, right? So and then nigga, okay, miss me with your discrimination claims there, Black and brown Prince George's Police Department officers, because your whole job is to subject and oppress Black people in this very Black and brown community. So miss me with that shit. But I wanted us to begin with a tad bit of news pertaining to officers in this area. Tunde, if you could whip up A1 for me, please, sir. This is from the Department of Justice, guys. And this news broke this week, okay? 6 Maryland law enforcement officers facing federal indictment charges related to schemes to defraud financial institutions and insurance companies, right? Police officers allegedly filed false police reports and false claims to obtain reimbursement for purported losses. So what the Department of Justice, again, this is a federal indictment, has announced charges against officers who work not only for the Prince George's County Police Department, some of them work, well, one of them works for the Anne Arundel County Police Department, another works for the Maryland National Capital Park Police, and there was another one. Fairmont Heights Police Department, which is like the town police in a town in PG County, right? Now, the reason I'm telling y'all this, I know y'all like, Kim, who gives a shit? This is some white collar shit. This is some insurance fraud shit. It is. It is. And some of the actions that these officers are alleged to have done include reporting their debit cards being stolen and then getting reimbursed for the charges, right? Or reporting their vehicle stolen and getting insurance reimbursement for their alleged stolen vehicles, but using their powers and their employment at these police agencies as a means, they file the police report, right? Because they the police. That's what the police do, right? And I know y'all are like, Kim, why do we care about this? I'm going to tell you. So out of these 6 officers, 5 have already pled not guilty. Conrad Darwin DeHaty, Philip James Dupree, Mark Ross Johnson, Jerron Earl Taylor, Candace Danielle Tyler have all pled, I believe, not guilty. One of these officers I do not think has entered a plea in this particular indictment. And that officer's name, well, he's been fired, but he was a corporal, and his name was Corporal Michael Anthony Owen Jr. Okay. Now, I know y'all like, Kim, who cares? I'm going to tell y'all why. Okay. I don't think that Corporal Michael Owen has entered a plea in this federal indictment of insurance fraud and other charges because Corporal Owen is already in jail. Would you like to know why Corporal Michael Owen, or former Corporal Michael Owen, is already in jail? Do y'all know what he's in jail for? Michael Owen is in jail for murder. Okay. And the reason why, at least as described by the Department of Justice, part of the reason why these new indictments have come down against other officers is because an investigation into Michael Owen's alleged murder charge brought about the discovery of this insurance scheme, right? Let's talk about Michael Owen, guys. This is why I want to talk about police ain't shit, okay? Because the argument that there's only some bad apples, right? There's a few bad apples in every police department. Well, police departments enable these bad apples to commit big crimes and small crimes, and they allow this to go on really unabated until the crimes become so egregious that they can no longer be covered up, right? Ergo murder. But when we talk about Michael Owen, who, by the way, did I mention he's in jail for murder? Oh, y'all want to know who we killed? I'm about to tell you. Michael Owen, by the way, who is only 33 years old, he's been a busy boy ever since he became a Prince George's County Police. But here is why Michael Owen is in jail. Tunde, can we please take a look at A2? What we're about to see is from 2020. It's from NBC Washington. I believe this is Tracy Wilkins reporting. So keep in mind, Michael Owen just got charged with federal charges of fraud and scheming and, defrauding insurance companies and banks, etc. Here's the big reason why he's in jail. Tunde, let's take a look at A2, please.
Well, this all goes back to what caused that stop for Green. Now, police say that he had crashed into a number of vehicles. The night that this happened, Prince George's County Police said that there was evidence of him being on PCP. The next day, the chief of police said that there no longer was evidence of PCP. Today, the state's attorney said that there is a toxicology.
All right, you guys, hold on. Tunde, start out from the beginning. Let me set this up. I did not do a good job of setting this up. Let me set this up. So what we're about to see is a report from 2020. Okay, that's Tracy Wilkins. Now, the Green that she is referring to is Michael Green. William Howard Green, 43 years old. He was shot and killed by Michael Owen in January of 2020. Now, when Mr. Green had been murdered, and you guys are about to hear the egregious way in which he was murdered, let me spoil it for you. Mr. Green was handcuffed in a police car with his hands handcuffed behind his back and somehow ended up shot 6 times, right? What the cops said, like literally the night that this man was killed, is that he was high on PCP. So that is where the PCP comes from. So I just wanted to put things in context, put things in perspective, because I know that started off a little ambiguous. You're like, what? Who the fuck is Green? Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Green was murdered by Corporal Michael Owen, January of 2020. And the cops immediately said that he was high on PCP, but when it became so obvious that they were high on PCP, whatever the fuck, there's no way this man was handcuffed with his hands behind him and able to do anything that would deserve 6 shots inside of a police car. Okay, thank you, Tunde. Let's start that from the very beginning. Thank you.
Well, this all goes back to what caused that stop for Green. Now, police say that he had crashed into a number of vehicles. The night that this happened, Prince George's County Police said that there was evidence of him being on PCP. The next day, the chief of police said that there no longer was evidence of PCP. Today, the state's attorney said that there is a toxicology report saying that there was PCP in Green's system. Prince George's County Police veteran Corporal Michael Owen is indicted on multiple charges, including second-degree murder, after police say he shot and killed William Green. Green was sitting inside Owen's squad car, handcuffed behind his back. Prosecutors say Owen fired 7 shots, striking Green 6 times.
Our office is charged now with prosecuting Corporal Owens.
Prince George's County Police Chief Hank Stawinski announced Owen was charged with murder less than 24 hours after Green's shooting.
I am unable to come to our community this evening and offer you a reasonable explanation for the events that occurred last night.
Owen's father spoke out in his son's defense after his bond was denied. He was surrounded by Owen's church members. He says his son deserved support from the police department.
I'm sure that his heart grieves for his family. But I know that he hates this position that he's in, because I know he never saw it that he would be locked up by the very people, that he served every day.
It wasn't Owen's first deadly shooting. In 2011, he shot and killed Rodney Edwards in front of his home. Police say Edwards was armed, something his family challenged. Edwards' uncle told News 4 he wants his nephew's case to be reinvestigated.
And I'm hoping that somebody will reopen this investigation and see that my nephew was wrongly killed.
News 4 exclusively interviewed a woman who says Owen choked her after a traffic stop in 2016. She says she was handcuffed in the back of a squad car when it happened. She says her case was investigated by police, but she was never told the outcome of that investigation. Today, the state's attorney said that they are going to be taking a look at the past use of forces against Owen, but she still would not speak to a motive in the shooting of Green. Reporting live, I'm Tracy Wilkins. Back to you all in the studio.
Thank you, Tracy. Tracy Wilkins, y'all, NBC Washington. She is the PG County Bureau Chief of reporting on nigga shit. I don't know how else to say it. So let's take a look here. So as you heard in that report, Michael Owen charged in the murder of Mr. William Green, right? Mr. Green was handcuffed, hands behind him, sitting in the passenger seat of the car, of the police car, and somehow ended up shot 6 times, okay? But no, that you did not mishear. Jesus, Tunde, if you could please pop up A3 for me, please. You did not mishear, Tracy, in that report. Yes, in 2011, Michael Owen had another fatal shooting on his record. Okay, he was accused of shooting Rodney Edwards in 2011, and there were never any charges filed. You heard from some of the family members of Mr. Edwards said that they want this case reexamined. And from what I understand, the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office of Aisha Brave Boy, y'all, and is looking into that. Let me say this really quick about Aisha Brave Boy and our county council person, our county executive, Angela Also Brooks, 2 Black women. Now, listen, just because Black women are in charge don't mean that they got to be doing the right thing. CC Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore, CC Kamala Harris in the White House, and former Attorney General for the state of California, right? Sometimes Black, all skin folk ain't skin folk, okay? Let me say this about State Attorney Aisha Brave Boy. She is not the only, Michael Owen is not the only Prince George's County cop that has been brought up on charges of some sort under the tenure of Aisha Brave Boy. Aisha Brave Boy is not afraid to charge these cops, right? And I wanted to say that. Some of these prosecutors, these alleged progressive prosecutors, they just don't want the drama. They don't want to go toe to toe with the police departments and the fraternal orders of police. Again, CC Marilyn Mosby up in Baltimore, because niggas got so happy that Marilyn Mosby charged somebody in the death of Freddie Gray. They seem to always conveniently forget that nobody was ever convicted in the murder of Freddie Gray. And I don't even know if she's charged any officers with anything, any sort of criminal misconduct since then. Lateef Mins, thank you, darling. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that, sweetie. So there's that. So I just want to just say something good about Aisha Braveboy. No, I hope Aisha Braveboy don't turn around and embarrass me out here. But Michael Owen was denied bail when he was charged back in 2020. He is still in jail. And as you saw off the very break, he is not facing new charges. Why? Because these criminal ass police, they don't stop, baby. They don't stop at little fraud or, civil asset forfeiture, basically robbing people as they stop them for whatever various crime. No, they actually go on to kill people. And sometimes, more often than not, these cops are never held accountable for killing people. So in the case of Corporal Owen killing Rodney Edwards in 2011, that was never even investigated. He was never charged for that, but he had to kill somebody else in a more egregious way in order for him to get taken off the street, right? So I wanted to point out also, and you heard some other people in that package of Tracy Wilkins say that Michael Evans, I'm getting these names all confused, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Michael Owen, Corporal Owen, formerly of the PG County Police Department, was accused to have been assaulting people in regular traffic stops. But Michael Owen has cost the county money. Tunde, if you could throw up a 5 for me, please, because PG County, understanding that the writing was on the wall, and let me say this, that Mr. William Howard Green, the man that Michael Owen is accused to have murdered, had the misfortune of getting killed before George Floyd, right? Before Derek Chauvin had an opportunity to choke the life out of George Floyd in May of that same year, May of 2020 in Minneapolis, Mr. Green was killed by Michael Owen in Prince George's County. And PG County said, ooh, this looks really bad. And let me tell you what PG County did. A5, y'all see it. Prince George's County reaches $20 million settlement with the family of man killed by police. Y'all, $20 million is a pile of money. Now, there's no price you can put on anybody's life. I have no problem with the family of this man receiving $20 million. If you put it in comparison, I think the George Floyd family, Jean-Pierre, help me out on this. What was the amount that the Floyd family received? I want to say $6 million? Somewhere in that neighborhood. It was not 20 million, right? Not even close. And PG County understood that they had to pay up that money. Shout out to Billy Murphy in Baltimore, Maryland. Billy Murphy was the attorney representing the Green family in this settlement. Billy Murphy was not for play. Billy Murphy also represented Freddie Gray's people too. Billy Murphy will make these cops get down and lay down. He makes these police departments empty their pockets. But the problem is, it's not actually the police department emptying their pockets. It is me emptying my pocket. And ever since I have been in Prince George's County, my property taxes have gone up. Now, I'm not going to make a direct correlation to the fact that PG County just settled $20 million, not just, but in 2020 settled $20 million with the Green family because of police brutality, nor the fact that Prince George's County also settled a lawsuit with those Black and brown officers who had filed discrimination suits against the county. PG County paid them $2 million and also paid their attorney's fees. So we're talking somewhere north of $30 million just in these two instances that I have outlined here in less than a year. So the people that end up paying for this are you and I, right? Which brings me to the point of the George Floyd reforming in police bill. That's not the exact title, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That Congress has been debating now for several months. And the story out of Politico this week is that qualified immunity has been dropped from the negotiations, right? That has not been confirmed by any of the actual lawmakers that have been working on this, but according to Politico, sources close to the negotiations say the qualified immunity has been dropped. If you can run these cops' pockets for everything they got, and I don't know what they got, I don't know if they got a little or a lot. Trust me, if an officer thought for a second that his or her home was in danger, his or her pension was in danger, his or her opportunity to earn a living as a law enforcement officer were in danger, I believe 1,000% in my heart these cops would act different. I'm not saying they would act different across the board, but they would take, I would hope, a tiny pause for the cause. The reason why they just are outright abusive and don't even give it a second thought, they injure people routinely, even murder, is because they know there's not any real consequence for it, right? The chances of them actually being convicted or, even charged or something, let alone a conviction, even charged, the odds of that is still very small. They know that all their personal assets are completely protected against any civil action because the police departments themselves and the states and the municipalities actually bear the cost of these civil suits. And that has to end, yo. And I can understand some people being like, well, if you can only go after the cops, right, and not after the state or the municipality, then the families of the victims stand less of a chance of recouping any major money, which is probably true. But I think there has to be a combination, right? You have to be able to go after the cops personally and after the municipality. I don't think this should be an either or thing. Qualified immunity absolutely needs to be in any police reform discussion if we are indeed talking about reform. But tragically, reform is the only thing that's on the table right now because these pussy ass Democrats, and you know what? I shouldn't even call them pussy. You know why? Because pussy is strong, right? I don't know what the fuck these Democrats are. These bammers are scrotums. I'm sorry, fellas. I know we have a lot of very supportive men here on our program. But let me assure y'all, scrotums are soft. Pussies are strong, okay? So you know what? I'm never gonna call, if I'm trying to say the word for weak, I will never say pussy again. I will say scrotum. Yo, these Congress people are scrotum, homie. These bammers is soft and mushy and vulnerable. And they squeal if you squeeze them, okay? I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna calm down. Let me straighten up here. Okay, let me get my shit together. All right. I'm gonna be easy. Okay. Anyway, put the press on these bammers, yo, because without qualified immunity, your reform package means nothing. It is scrotum. Okay, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's too malleable. Is Dick Long in the chat? I don't know, David Silberg. We have to see. All right. Oh, hey, okay. Hey. Okay. Y'all getting these jokes off. Okay. Y'all simmer down. Simmer down in there. Simmer down. My point is, guys, this is one cop. One cop is responsible. Let me rephrase. One cop is allegedly responsible for 2 deaths and now being charged with being indicted federally on fraud and oops. Sorry, I just kicked over a chair. Don't pay me no attention. You okay, Maggie? Okay, I'm sorry. Bagheera. Whoops. Come here, Maggie. I'm sorry. I just knocked over the chair. I don't think Bagheera's okay. She's okay. Come here, Maggie. Come say hi. Come here. Baggie said no. Say hi. Okay. Okay. It's me and Bagheera hosting the show. Bagheera, your thoughts on PG County Police? My point exactly. I support everything Bagheera just said. And, you know, where was I going? Oh, yes, the one cop, guys. One cop responsible for allegedly 2 deaths, right? And now accused of being a fraudster in addition. That's the minimal part of his crime. Okay, I'm going to let her go. Hold on. See you, Bags. All right. It's a live show, y'all. Anything's liable to happen. Police have someone like Michael Owen in every single department across this country, whether or not they are guilty of small crimes, theft, whether or not they are guilty of major crimes like sexual harassment and assault of people within their custody, whether or not they're outright murderers, people who injure people, people who shoot people without any cause, unarmed folks who are posing no threat to them. This system cannot be reformed, okay? There is no reform possible for it. It has to go away. We have to do something new because otherwise the police are there to uphold the class interests of the elites, to uphold the racist structure of this country, and no amount of reform will ever change that. And the fact that Michael Owen is a black cop should surprise none of us. Right? Now, imagine if he was white. Imagine the shit he'd be allowed to get away with if he was white, shorty. Like unreal levels of crime and fuckery. But he was black. And they caught up with him real quick. And guys, like I said, he's only 33 years old. He shot and killed somebody 9 years ago. He was a baby on the goddamn police force. Everything goes, shorty. Everything goes if you're police. I'm sorry. We've had Jesus, it's already 5:30. Jesus, okay. I'm gonna move on to our next topic. But before I do what Chuck Diesel is telling y'all to do, ladies and gentlemen, and days, click that thumbs up button for your homie. Hit us some likes. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I want to thank people who have already been breaking us off. What's up, Lateef? And I know someone dropped us some Cash App. I saw the alert go off, but now I don't see it on my phone. I will find it and let me thank you properly. Thank you so much. If you want to support this program, you can do so very easily by you can break us off in the super chat. Thank you so much. You can either hit us up on Cash App, $BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, or even better, become a patron on Patreon, patreon.com/BIDWKB. Our tiers start as low as $2 and you can take it on up from there or not. I'm cool with $2. I appreciate $2, guys, because we are all working folks out here. And the fact that you guys give up any money to support us and keep this platform going, I appreciate that more than you all know, because I know you don't have to, and I know money is precious. So thank you all so much for the support that you guys give us. Who said it's the quickest hour? It's afraid not. Don't this joint be rolling by? It don't even feel like I be holding y'all hostage for a whole hour and some change sometimes, right? This joint go like this. So thank you all so much for your support ongoing. And even if you're not able to give us any material support, that's fine. That's fine. And hey, nigga, whoever hit the thumbs down, get the fuck up out of here, man. We ain't got no time for that negative energy. We take all the free support that you can give us. Likes, subscriptions, shares. Follow us in places around the internet at BIDWKB, Instagram and Facebook. And we're also on TikTok as well. So thank you all so much. Let me just say that. Get that out the way. Anyway, guys, labor. Very important. We are working people out here. We are the working class heroes out this bitch. And for our people who go to work every day in a factory, punch a clock, do labor intensive stuff, standing on your feet, using your body, man, that is some of the most humbling, hardest work that there is out there. And our friends at Nabisco, right? The people who make your Oreos, who make your Chips Ahoy cookies, they are being treated badly by the parent company of Nabisco, which of course you can assume made record profits during the pandemic. And not only have they closed Nabisco plants, laid off workers, they are trying now to make their existing workers work longer for less money, despite the fact that the company made a shit ton of money. Okay. Nabisco workers in Portland, Oregon, Aurora, Colorado, Richmond, Virginia, and now recently joined to this strike, the Nabisco workers in Chicago, Illinois. They are on strike now. On strike. I want us to take a look at some of words, some actions that are happening right now outside of these Nabisco plants in different places. I think the first place that we're going to see is going to be in Richmond and Portland, I believe. So let us take a look, Tunde, at the clip C2, please. Okay. So you're going to hear workers chant, no Oreos, no Chips Ahoy, no nothing. Right. The first clip is going to be courtesy of the March on the Boss Twitter account. And then the second clip is going to be from the people at A More Perfect Union, who do an amazing job with their videography and capturing a lot of these labor and strike actions. So let's take a look at what our brothers and sisters working at Nabisco are dealing with in terms of from their employer and the actions that they are taking now to demand more.
Nothing. No Oreos, no Chips Ahoy, no nothing. No Oreos, no Chips Ahoy, no nothing. No Oreos, no Chips Ahoy, no nothing.
Can be forced to working up to 60, 70 days. I've personally worked 45 days in a row without a day off.
We want to be treated like we're people instead of like slaves.
The company has never given us anything. The corporate greed is taking everything away, and we'll be out here until we can stop corporate greed.
When you bite a Chips Ahoy, we bet you bite a chip.
Who can resist the golden, buttery, melt-in-your-mouth taste of a Ritz?
Oreo, unlock the magic.
Nabisco.
They came with some demands in the last negotiation that were all takeaways. They wanted to take our overtime away. They wanted to put us on a 7-day work schedule, 12-hour days.
They currently want to change our overtime pay so that if you work all that time, you will end up eventually getting paid less for working that amount of time.
Your impact going to be about a $40,000 a year loss for all the workers across the board.
They've actually closed 2 factories recently, and they don't disclose where the production's going, but we know it's going to Mexico.
It sucks. I just turned 55 years old, got 37 years.
With the COVID-19, I don't know who's going to hire me right now.
Everything going to Mexico. All of it.
I grew up with Nabisco products, Oreo, cream and crackers, Chip Ahoys. I knew they were made here. I knew they were made around the corner from where I live. To see those things go to another country where people are making less pay and the company is still making billions, it's disheartening.
I've been here since 1987, so I guess it'd be 34, 35 years. This company has actually squeezed everything out of it they could.
They don't even want us to step onto the grass of the property, so they're putting a fence up right on the property line. They're basically kicking the employees to the curb.
We want the community to support us. We want America to support us. We don't want you to buy Nabisco products, not during our strike. When we come back to work, we want you to support Nabisco products, but only Nabisco products made in America. If you read the back of the label, it will say made in America or made in Mexico or made in Canada. And we want to keep our jobs in America. We want to keep middle class. And right now they're trying to destroy it all.
Incredible work there from A More Perfect Union, documenting the words and the struggles of the Nabisco workers. And someone in the comments just said, you guys really appreciate that that I talk about labor stories, y'all. Okay, I don't come for money. I don't know about y'all, but I have been working since I was 13 years old, right? And I assure you, I have not been paid properly in every single job that I have, whether or not when I was working at Chuck E. Cheese when I was 16, or when I was working at a news agency who shall remain nameless at this same point in time last year. Sade. I'm here to stand with all workers at all times, always. And let's be clear here. This is a global struggle for workers, right? I can certainly understand and have empathy for the Nabisco workers here in the United States saying only buy the Nabisco products that were made in America, right? But let's not pit American workers against Mexican workers here, right? It's not the people of Mexico's fault that Nabisco is able to pay them vastly lower wages than they are their American workers. I mean, that is a product and an outcome of capitalism, right? And so we need to be standing with the Mexican workers too. Of course, we would prefer these jobs remain here. But fuck, if they are going to send them jobs to Mexico, pay the Mexican people a living wage, right? Or better yet, just don't send the jobs out there. Let's give the Mexican people a different job that pays them a living wage. Like, these companies are more than able to pay people what they are absolutely worth. But as someone else in the chat astutely noted, greed is a motherfucker, right? And these people at Mondelez, the parent company of Nabisco, are very powerful, and they are trying their best to break the strike. Now, here's a strange way in which supporters of the strike are being punished. I'm not sure if you guys saw this on Twitter, but Danny DeVito, we all know Danny DeVito, the very famous actor. I like Danny DeVito very much. I grew up watching Danny DeVito, starting with Taxi. I like Danny DeVito very much. Danny DeVito is with the shits. He's with us. Danny DeVito said no contracts, no cookies on his Twitter page, and talk in reference to this Nabisco worker strike, and Twitter unverified him. They took away his blue check for reasons I can't say why, but I thought that was very unusual. Are y'all trying to punish Danny DeVito for standing with workers? Maybe don't do that. But these corporations stick together. And at the end of the day, I guess Danny DeVito is himself a worker, right? He may be a well-off worker. He's been working at his profession for a long time, able to become very wealthy, but he's still a worker nonetheless. So they do not fuck with the solidarity. Let's put it that way. Yes. Hey, Stoner Loner. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes. And I too love Taxi. Taxi was one of my favorite shows because who else was in Taxi? Tony Danza and Christopher Lloyd, right? Oh, and Andy Kaufman, right? Oh man, Taxi was vintage, shorty. I might have someone of these streaming services need to throw Taxi back in the mix, because I used to fuck with Taxi big time, even as a little kid. But anyway, it's not just the Nabisco workers who are striking. By the way, gang, Natalie A., I saw you say in the chat that Chips Ahoy and Oreos are two of your favorite cookies. We're going to have to make some sacrifices here in order to show some solidarity with our working brothers and sisters, okay? So Nabisco is a no-no, gang. Y'all going to have to get them 365 cookies or whatever the fuck they sell at Target or whatever else, okay? We got to stand with our bros and sis and not cross that strike line, not cross that picket line, even when you're standing in the grocery line. So bear that in mind. Shout out to the Nabisco workers. We are here with you. We are here to stand with you until you guys get it is what exactly that you deserve. So thank you for that. Speaking of other labor, I'm going to go to Spelman next, Tunde. Some of our white collar sistren and brethren are withholding their labor as well. We are still very much in a global pandemic. I don't know if y'all knew this. A lot of people out here are acting like COVID, that was last year. No, nigga, COVID is very much here. Delta variant transmitting at a very high level. We're seeing cases of the virus go up virtually every state. The breakthrough cases is what's fucking me up, right? The people that are vaccinated who are still contracting COVID, although allegedly they're not being hospitalized, not getting as sick, which I guess is a very good reason to take the vaccine. By the way, anytime I talk about the vaccine, I notice I lose subscribers. And really, y'all anti-vaccine motherfuckers need to grow up, okay? Like, I don't care if you get the vaccine, you guys are grown, y'all can do whatever you want, but don't get mad at me for daring to suggest that a vaccine that is available not be utilized, gang. I'm sorry. Too many Black people and brown people and indigenous people died from COVID for me to be like, oh, well, y'all could just eat some garlic and ginger. Y'all be okay. No, grow up. No, that's not how this works. Anyway, yes, we are very much still in a goddamn pandemic and schools are reopening. A lot of places are returning for in-person instruction. As we are seeing early on, this is a bad idea. 3 teachers in Broward County, Florida, or 3 school staff, I'm not sure if they were all teachers or not, have died from COVID. The infections among children in schools that have reopened for in-person learning is high. The fact that there are states that have banned masking in schools is outrageous. So I could understand teachers being reluctant to go back for in-person learning. And the ladies and gentlemen who teach at, thank you, Mark S. I appreciate you. I appreciate that so much. Northern Witch, thank you so much for your support also, sweetheart. You guys are amazing. The fact that instructors and professors at Spelman University are less than enthused to turn for in-person learning is completely understandable. And I want us to please be thinking about the teachers in addition to the students. You know, of course, we're worried about the kids, but it's not kids that are dying from COVID, more than likely. I mean, at least not according to the statistics. A very small number of children have actually died, though we do not know the long-term effects on COVID on the growing body. That is a big cause for concern. But it's adults. Those who get sick with COVID and end up passing away from COVID are grown, are adult folks. And I can understand the reluctance. So I want to take a look at this package because this is just a this week development about the teachers at Spelman. This package is from 11 Alive News down there in Atlanta, Georgia, where we do for you, bulldogging hoes like these Georgetown hoyas. Tunde, let's take a look at that package about Spelman teachers saying, nah, we not coming to class, Joe. Nah.
Confusion at Spelman College over whether the fall semester will be in person or online. Everyone at that college received an email this morning from the Faculty Council, a group of tenured professors who say that they do not feel safe teaching in person and they want to go virtual. Caitlin Ross reports the email quickly went viral online.
Students say they were confused and caught off guard by the email that came from faculty this morning without warning.
A lot of my peers and I were not upset at all because we do know that safety is first. We are in a growing pandemic once again, and we support the faculty's decisions.
Spelman Jr. Kaylin Daigle tweeted a screenshot of the email, and it was quickly retweeted thousands of times. The reaction to the faculty group's email was mixed, but Daigle says the students she knows are supportive.
Many of them, not all, they just wanted to take a break on in-person classes.
Well, she says safety comes first. It doesn't come without a cost. A housing shortage at the college this summer forced a majority of upperclassmen to move off campus, where she says they're paying a lot more in rent.
We all just packed and moved and are living off campus. A lot of us went through a lot of unnecessary stress, and a lot of us picked up a lot of unnecessary financial stress.
In a statement to 11 Alive, a spokesperson for the college says classes will not be virtual. They expect professors will teach in person. Vaccines are required on campus, and students and staff have to wear masks both indoors and outdoors at all times.
We are trailblazers, we are leaders, and there should be virtual options for educators around the nation.
A spokesperson for Spelman says they're committed to keeping communication with faculty and students open as the pandemic continues.
Hey, why is there not a virtual option being offered, huh, Spelman? Is it because, you get to charge the kids for that in-person tuition, right? Listen, if I was in college or if I had a child in college, I would absolutely feel some kind of way about paying full ass tuition if the kids was virtually learning, right? And I can understand why they'd be virtually learning, but this is a money thing, man. And, you know, our Black institutions are certainly no different than any other institutions who are money motivated. Let me read you this email, okay, that was sent out by the faculty council to students at Spelman, okay? I didn't put this on the doc today. I'll be brief. Dear Spelman students, the faculty at Spelman College were excited about returning to in-person instruction. However, much to our disappointment, faculty have not received a clear and enforceable protocol and safety guidelines that will ensure our health and well-being when teaching face-to-face. While awaiting acceptable responses to these concerns, we have decided not to teach in person. Most faculty will use alternative instructional methods for course delivery. Faculty continue to be committed to excellence in teaching and to delivering the Spelman promise. What's the Spelman promise? Spelman. I'm sure it's something, hands and hearts and all that good stuff. Okay, wait, I just lost my place. Delivering the Spelman promise, we will do our best to ensure a speedy resolution to these issues so that we can resume in-person teaching. Wishing you a safe and successful academic year, Faculty Council, on behalf of Spelman faculty. So this is probably going to be a bit of a standoff between the professors and the college, because how are they going to facilitate this, right? I mean, there has to be some sort of coordination with the college, or the college may consider taking punitive actions against the teachers if they refuse to return for in-person. So we're going to keep an eye on this. This is affecting Black people, Black institutions, Black community. I am very interested in how Spelman decides to resolve this. But shout out to the faculty at Spelman College for standing their ground and refusing to submit themselves to unsafe working conditions, right? I have nothing but respect for that. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. From the Cash App. Thank you so much, Greg. Greg broke us off in the Cash App. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Your support is deeply appreciated. And moving on to my final labor story. Shit, it's 5:55. How? How? OnlyFans. Now, guys and girls and theys. OnlyFans to me seem like a really good opportunity to bust it wide open and make a little bit of change, right? I have never looked at OnlyFans, but I am quite familiar with the kind of content that OnlyFans provides. And OnlyFans has given its performers notice that effective October 1st, that they will not be able to produce sexually explicit content on the platform, right? Now, guys, I didn't know OnlyFans did anything else but sexually explicit content. So when I saw that, I was kind of confused. I said, what else are y'all going to do? Did y'all know that OnlyFans apparently is for like celebrities to do behind the scenes stuff? Like you can take a look at whatever the fuck Kevin Hart's doing in his free time. Like, I didn't even know that. Only thing I know OnlyFans for is for sex, right? And let's be clear, guys. First of all, sex work is work. And anyone who wants to make that contradictory argument that sex work is not work, you may not be doing the sex right. let me just say that, okay? Anyone that says sex work is not doing the sex right. So there's that. But when I was looking at some of the comments, right, on Twitter specifically, it was a whole lot of men laughing, talking about, oh, the line is going to be stretched around Popeyes on October 2nd. All these OnlyFans girls going to have to get real jobs. Lord have mercy. Let me be very clear, okay? And this is for my ladies and my theys and for my guys who like guys, right? Handling penises is work, okay? It is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there is no way around that. And for sex performers, for sex workers to produce some of the content that they do, have you ever noticed like the production value? Like some of this is actually extremely well shot, and the angles and the lighting. I mean, clearly some forethought has gone into this. So it is work. There's never no question that sex work is work, right? And sex workers deserve to be compensated justifiably for the labor that they produce. And it is amazing that OnlyFans built its entire name and brand off of the back, literally the backs of sex workers. And here they are with the audacity to put them off of the platform, right? So let's talk about the kind of place that OnlyFans is, right? Oh, thank you. Now, I'm sorry, backtrack. My mother fact checked me, not on OnlyFans, but she fact checked me on the George Floyd settlement. She said 27 million. I don't think, was it that high, mommy? Anyway, gosh. Yeah, said the George Floyd settlement was 27 million. Genevieve is not my mom. Genevieve, you are not my mother. And I don't even want to reference my mother while I'm talking about OnlyFans. I've made this way more awkward now. Okay. Let me reset. No. Genevieve had sent me some interesting tidbits regarding the OnlyFans. So part of the reason why OnlyFans is kicking off their sex performers has to do with the fact that they want to, quote, ensure the long-term sustainability of our platform and continue to host an inclusive community of creators of our content guidelines, etc. But also credit card providers like MasterCard, which last year stopped servicing Pornhub. This was after allegations that the site featured underage and non-consensual content. OnlyFans released its first ever transparency report with its statement showing that if enforcement between June 2020 and June 2021, according to Axios. So obviously they are under some pressure from financial institutions, credit card companies, basically the main way that they generate their revenue and their income about the content that they produce. But I have not heard, and perhaps you guys can let me know if you've heard the contrary, I have not heard any accusations of underage performers on OnlyFans. And not to say that that's not the case, because I would imagine on any sort of platform, Craigslist, Backpage, I know there are people there being exploited to be in traffic. But I would venture to say a large majority of the performers on OnlyFans are consensual, are of age, and basically their own bosses, right? OnlyFans provided a place where sex workers can do their job basically in the privacy or comfort of their homes or wherever they are and receive compensation for it. Now, some sex workers would say that that OnlyFans was actually pimping them because they were taking like 20% off the top, right? That's a big cut, okay? That's a big cut. If I was doing sex work and somebody wanted 20%, me and that somebody would have a problem because shorty, sex work is work. Make no mistake about it. But guys, we have to do what we can to support the sex workers. And by that, I mean, if you have an OnlyFans performer that you have considered supporting, go ahead and do that now before October 1st, because there's nothing wrong with paying for porn. It means that you value the quality of the content that you are receiving, just like you guys, give us money. And I'm not busting it wide open, and thank y'all for not requiring that of me. But there is never going to be a time where sex workers are not going to be employed, right? It's called the oldest profession for a reason. And some of these people are not even necessarily doing sex for pay for, in a partner in that way. They're doing it for subscriptions and, for views, people to pay per view, I suppose. We want to put it that way. But let us be very clear. Any and I'm gonna say no, any man, right? Because it's usually men. There are some women hating women out there who, why do you gotta sell ass? Baby, if you got one to sell, if you got one that people will pay to see, I don't see a problem with it. Some people are more gifted at the sex than others. I think they should be compensated for that, especially if they are of the exhibitionist sort of nature, right? They don't mind being looked at and viewed upon by strangers. Okay, run them their money. If you like what she doing to that thing, run her some change. If you like what he doing to that thing, run him some change. Run it. But a lot of people predicted that the OnlyFans model was going to be unsustainable anyway for this exact reason. But whoever is the enterprising person to come up with the next platform for sex workers, and maybe they do it outside of the traditional financial institutions. Maybe they go the crypto route where you can only support these performers and workers via crypto or Doge or whatever. Yo, that's going to happen. But pussy gonna sell, baby. Okay, I mean, not to be crass. I'm just kicking the facts. I'm just telling y'all what it is. I'm just letting y'all know how the world turns. Pussy gonna sell, and if OnlyFans gonna put off the sex performers, guess what? There's going to be another platform right there waiting, because men are going to pay for sex in some way or another, and don't let these no P word getting motherfuckers down these sex performers, male or female or non-binary. Don't let them down them at all, because why, everybody say it with me, sex work is work. The more you know. Lastly, guys, before we get out of here, thank you all so much for rocking us out so hard in the chat. Where we at in terms of oh, good. We're doing good with likes. Thank you, Chuck Diesel. Thank you. I feel like Chuck Diesel is our majority whip in the chat. he be whipping up them likes, and I certainly appreciate that so much of you, Chuck Diesel. Where am I on my hair document, guys? Yes. Last place I want to go, guys. So, as I'm sure you've heard in the past week and some change, the census numbers have been released, and I have not had the opportunity to do a deep dive into the census. I'm interested in doing a deep dive into the census. I'm always very interested in demographics and population shifts and, how people are doing, whatever. Now, we know I have a tiny bit of doubt about the entire accuracy of the census, because if you recall, the census was taken last year in 2020 when that bitch ass nigga Donald Trump was president, and Trump was trying to fuck up the census for all intents and purposes. The Trump administration was taking deliberate aims to make sure that communities of color were undercounted and underreported, because we know the census determines federal funding in a lot of places. It determines the amount of representation you get in Congress, depending on where you live. And the census just reveals a lot of information. So it was very important. What you say, Stilly C, the Detroit mayor doesn't like the census results. Is it because, I'm sure, thank you, Stilly C, for telling me that, because I'm sure, and I don't know this, but I'm sure it showed that Black people are either exiting or being pushed out of urban places, right? And I thank you so much for bringing up Detroit, because I'm curious about that. And I want to do a show actually upcoming about the violence of gentrification, right? Black people are being pushed out of cities and of communities in which we have been for literally generations. And one of those places is right here in the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. The census numbers for D.C. show that Washington, since the last census, has lost 19,000 Black residents. However, the white population in Washington, D.C. has increased by 25%. In fact, Washington, D.C., according to some census data, is the only place in the whole country where the white population increased. Okay? Now, for the first time, D.C.'s Black population is under 50%. And I'm talking about the first time ever, guys. DC has been chocolate city, I swear to God, for hundreds of years. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like 1800s easily. I mean, again, this is probably the first time in Washington, DC's existence that it has not been a majority African-American place. Okay. That makes me extremely sad. I mean, so sad to go down to some of the places that I used to hang out. dog, when I go down to U Street, I want to weep. Okay. It almost makes me physically ill. Like the closest I can get to U Street is like the 930 Club. Like I can't go no further. I can't go no further, y'all. It's too many white people out here. It makes me very despondent. I digress. Something that DC is known for is go-go music. Okay. Go-go music is Black. Go-go music was invented by Black people as a compilation of Afro, Latino, Latin jazz, and congas and horns. It is amazing. Hey, Jean-Vieve, if we have anybody, two personnes de la musique de go-go is pots and pans music, coupe la tête, okay? If anybody say go-go is pots and pans, Jean-Vieve is gonna put you the fuck up out of here, y'all. We're gonna put some respect on go-go music name. And first of all, we're gonna put some respect on the the creator of go-go music. His name was Chuck Brown. And Chuck Brown's birthday is around this time, and DC honored him with his own day. So this weekend is Chuck Brown Day in Washington, DC, guys. And I wanted to give y'all a tiny clip. And I do mean tiny because I be paranoid out here in these YouTube streets about copyright claims because YouTube be acting like a whole hoe out here sometimes. But here's a tiny clip of the godfather of go-go, the founder of go-go, Mr. Chuck Brown, doing his thing. Take a look.
There I go, there I go, there I go. DJ baby, you are the soul that snaps my control. That's a funny thing, but every time I feel you, I never can behave. You can be smiling and around the page, magic music all around me, crazy music that keeps calling me so very close to you. Turns me a slave. Now, baby. I want you to come with me all the things that you want to.
Anything, baby, just let me get next to you. Oh, man, y'all. I miss Chuck so bad, y'all. Chuck passed away in, I think it was 2012. And to me, Chuck's passing was a symbolic death, really, of the death of the old DC, of the Black DC, of the real DC, right? And let me say this, y'all, I'm not a Washingtonian. I'm a Maryland, Bama, okay? Maryland, Bama. That is me, Maryland, Bama, right? But DC and go-go culture has always loomed so large to me. So I wanted to take a moment to remember the late, great Chuck Brown. Remember, don't mute DC, okay? Gentrification has really pushed go-go to the brink in this city, right? Go-go bands, well, anyway, I mean, we know the pandemic hit everybody hard last year, but even before then, more and more go-go performances going out to PG County, to Charles County, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's harder and harder for go-go bands to maintain that same level of number of performances within the city limits because gentrification is hitting the Black community so hard. But I wanted to play this real quick, y'all. A tiny bit of comic relief, y'all, because when Chuck Brown passed away, they had his funeral at the Washington Convention Center. Just to let y'all know what kind of pull Chuck Brown had in this town, baby. He had to have his funeral at the convention center, okay? And it was packed. You know how I know it was packed? Because I was down there, okay? I had to show up for Chuck. And theys, please invite a comedian to my funeral. Mike Epps showed up at Chuck Brown's funeral and he stole the show. I wanted to show you this clip because I don't know if everybody was familiar about Mike Epps' performance at the funeral of the godfather of go-go, Chuck Brown. Let's take a quick look at this.
What's up, DC? Oh, man. Y'all look good out here tonight. Y'all got some of them summer outfits on. I smell mothballs. Man, today is a real celebration, man.
for Chuck Brown, man. Chuck Brown came to see me at the place I be playing at? The Constitution Hall, yeah. You know my memory shot. But Chuck Brown came to see me, man, and it was such an honor. And it's really, really, I want to let everybody in here know, I'm not from D.C., I'm from Indianapolis, where they had Chuck Brown's picture up on the wall. And I just want to let you know that the man touched people all over the world. I grew up listening to Chuck Brown, and I thought I would never get to meet him. But God put it in my path for me to meet him. And I just want to let y'all know, DC, man, that I really, really appreciate y'all supporting me and giving me a chance to meet the man, the Godfather, Chuck Brown. Thank you so much. I met Chuck Brown at the Merriweather Pavilion with Green Eyes about 5 years ago. I was in the back smoking a cigarette. And Chuck Brown ran up on me and said, man, you got to put it out, 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 put it out. Let me hit it real quick before you put it out. I said, Chuck Brown. He said, man, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? I said, Chuck, I'm in your town. Where can I get some more of that? He said, let me get Marion Barry on the phone real quick. Said, I love you, Chuck Brown, forever.
And yes, guys, that was Marion Barry on stage when Mike Epps said, Chuck Brown said, let me go ask Marion Barry where he gets my weed from. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rest in peace to the Godfather, Chuck Brown. Don't mute DC, man. Stand up for go-go culture out here in this city. We do have any gentrifiers watching. You come into a black place, honey. I know you're trying to turn it into a white place, but the black people have been here. We have been operating in our culture for a while, and you know, we intend to keep that going no matter what. So enjoy Chuck Brown Day tomorrow. Guys, I will see you back here on Tuesday for the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Guys, don't forget, tonight on Black Power Media, there is a full slate of programming for you. Renegade Culture, Riot Starter TV, Last Dope Intellectual. Tomorrow, don't forget, Saturday, 1 o'clock on Black Power Media, Warrior Class with Balagoon. Oh my gosh, I am learning so much from Balagoon from Warrior Class, especially last Saturday's Warrior Class about the prepping, right? Balagoon got me a whole list. I got to go to Lowe's and make sure I'm good to go out here. My go-go bag and my get-home bag, right? So shout out to Black Power Media. If you have not already become a subscriber and or a member at Black Power Media, please be sure to go over there and do so. It is an amazing program, amazing stuff. And I'm very, very, very proud to be a part of the Black Power Media family. So guys, thank you all so much. We will see y'all next week. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Oh, COVID is still out here jumping on people. Don't let it jump on you. Be careful.